Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel and welcome to PXG 0317T. Their tour model, though it's not the blade, it's their player's distance model. 32 degrees aloft for a 7-iron. Blends very well with the other, the CB, and also the ST, which is their blade at 33 degrees. And it can also blend with the P. Now the P is 30 degrees or a 7-iron, so you've only got 2 degrees to play around with. Now the interesting thing with this one, being the T, is it blends exceptionally well technology-wise with the P and the XP. Because inside here you have got a forged body, 3 times forged, not 5 times, which is an interesting one. Why would be 5 and 1 be 3, but there you go. And you've still got the HT 1770 miraging steel face, although it is very much so more down the player's side, so the body is smaller, etc. If you look at the technology inside, no different. It's got the tungsten in there, you've got the miraging steel face, you've also got a milled finish on the front and back. You have got that weight, that wonderful little weight, which is fairly unique to PXG. It enables them to change swing weight, and when a custom fitting setting arises and you have got that ability, I can't explain how good that weight is, because with that weight you can change the swing weight so the amateur golfer can find and feel where that face is in 3D space. And that allows them to control timing better, control where the face is better, know where the face is relative to path, etc. It is just a wondrous thing, so well done PXG for that one. So I'm at a hole, as you can see, we have a rather large lump of water to get over and some rocks as well. This is forced carry. I will be doing this test at 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour after we've hit some shots into this green, and hopefully I can hit the green and not the rocks. And I'll also be doing my normal heat map testing where I hit it all over the face and see how good this golf club is from miss hits, because it has got tungsten in there, so it might be more forgiving off the toe. The tungsten is placed off the toe. Top line is actually thicker than it looks. If I put it between my finger and thumb there, it is actually quite a big top line. But the interesting thing is, down by the golf ball, you cannot see it whatsoever because it's fairly heavily chamfered. And if you look at the sole thickness, actually now we're getting slightly smaller now. Obviously we've done the 311 range, which is their P and XP, which is big. And of course the Black Ops is the biggest, but this is definitely getting down more the player's side. We're getting close to the CB and of course the ST blade after that, but it's looking a really nice, fairly compact head. Let's go give this one a hit. See how well it works. 170 odd yards I think it is, but hopefully we should be okay. That could be in the bunker. That is a pretty decent shot. It's just that it rolls off the back there, and thought so. Face is slightly closed, that's why everything was going fractionally left. 1 mil toe, 1 mil high, very good strike. Again, can't complain at all. 38 yards in the air and 50 degrees descent angle. So that would stop nearly on any green if I didn't pitch it right at the back and right near that bunker. Feel wise, if you go to the Black Ops, let's just go, because I've done the Black Ops, I've done the XP and I've done the P. The Black Ops is the loudest. It's the cast version, it's the biggest one, it's going to make the loudest noise, and of course XP gets slightly quieter, P gets slightly quieter than that, although you can definitely tell it's miraging steel faces. This has still got that miraging steel face. It has got that HT 1770 miraging steel face, but the body is much, much smaller. You've got that polymer inside that is designed to quieten the old girl down. And I tell you what, it does a really good job of doing it. There is a big difference in feel now between this and the P, even though within reason, they're very, very close in technology. Give another hit because, yes, I do quite like hitting this one. This is much more down what I would like to hit. Little leaky one. I can't complain at all though. No bunker there, which is a win. Yeah, that's a decent shot, you take that. Club path slightly across, face slightly open, tiny little baby one. 1 mil high, 1 mil toe. Again, can't complain whatsoever. 38 yards in the air, 51 degrees descent angle. I mean, these clubs just work really well. The P, I've literally just done the P, and the P is amazing at getting the golf ball launching. The best golf club I think I've ever tested at getting the golf ball launching. Well, this one's not doing too bad either. 50 degrees descent angle, or 51 rounded up, is pretty darn decent. Now I am swinging at 90 miles an hour, so it will be interesting to do the 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour test, because we all don't swing at 90 miles an hour. As soon as you start taking speed away, that's when spin comes off, that's when distance and carry distance comes off. So it'll be interesting to see how well it works, but I would not in any way be upset with those shots I've just hit, and the feel is really quite nice. Well, that's a carbon copy, if not a fraction more to the right, but again, that's that anti-bunker. Don't want to go in that. Club half one from the inside, face is slightly open. There you go, that's the out to the right. Strike's really good though, 3mm hill, 0mm low, so I'm striking it pretty good today. 39.1 yards in the air and 51 degrees ascent angle at 168. It's just working really well. PXG have really made a properly nice set of golf clubs, especially down the 317 route. It's definitely going to be what I want. I'm not necessarily going to go down that route. Aesthetics and feel is important to me, and so absolutely, yeah, I could be blending this one with the blade all day long. The blade and this one look so close. I mean, there's not much in it whatsoever, so they would blend in the back. Feel is nice, performance is good. What more can you want? It just works really well, PXG. You've done a very good job. Worst one of the bunch. I'm getting a little bit lazy, but if that's the case, I'll hit another one after this. It's just working so good. Club half 1.6 from the inside, but yeah, they left my face open a little bit there. 1.6 open. Out to the right it goes. 4mm hill, 5mm low. My worst strike yet, but by no means bad at all. 39 yards in the air, 51 degrees ascent angle. Just working so good. I could really play these. Like, I cannot. I'm struggling, really struggling to find any fault with them whatsoever. Some people don't like the looks. You compare this to what PXG used to look like many moons ago when they first came out with those grub screws all around the back and those very industrial, mechanical, very interesting golf clubs. They look much different now, much better. That middle circle, that weight that people might or might not like, that's an amazing weight. Just having the ability to change your swing weight is just great. Other manufacturers can do it as well. Yes, they can do it, especially within custom builds. If you ask them to do a D2, to D3, a D0, or whatever it be, they can do that to a certain extent, but not many can do it in the fitting. And that's the great thing with PXG. You can actually do it in the fitting. Right, one last one. Let's see if we can get it closer to the pin on this last one. Out of the bottom of the golf club. I can't complain though. That's where some tungsten is. Don't go out the back. Pretty darn decent. Club path is good and face path is really good. So delivery is really good, but you can see there 5mm low, 7mm toe, not the greatest strike whatsoever, so a little bit low on the face, which means it's now only peaking up at 36 yards in the air and only descending at 50 degrees. Of course, it's going to launch a little bit lower when you hit it lower on the face, but it's still doing really well. Right, let's go give this one a hit, 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour. Let's go see how it works when you start taking some speed away. Let's see what happens to peak height and distance, etc. And then we'll go give it a hit all over the face, those toe shots, heel shots, low shots, all the ones that we shouldn't hit, but we do. And let's get a heat map going to see just how good the 0317T iron is. All the shots now hit with the PXG 0317T Tour iron at 3 different swing speeds, 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour. And also the forgiveness data as well, where I hit it all over the face and got a nice little heat map to see how good this golf club is. So on the screen you can see you've got the 3 different data sets. You've got the club head data underneath. We'll go have a look at that one in a sec. That's just to make sure we're doing everything apples to apples testing. And at the top we've got the red, which is 70 miles an hour, the yellow, which is 80 miles an hour, and the blue, which is 90 miles an hour. Let's very quickly go to the red first. Carry of 128 yards. Remember, this is a 32 degree lofted 7-iron, so it is designed to blend, even though it's players distance category, it's designed to blend very well with the likes of the 317 CB and also the blade and also the P at 30 degrees with a little bit of loft tweaking. You can quite easily blend it with the P. So 128 yards, not bad whatsoever, peaking up at 21 yards in the air and descending at 41 degrees. So it is functional. This is the whole idea of golf clubs, which as soon as you start dialing speed down, you lose peak height, you lose descent angle, and you lose control. So it's always nice to see a golf club go in with a 7-iron at past 40 degrees. 45 degrees is a magic number, but at 7-iron you're never going to get something at 45 degrees unless you deliver massively differently to how I'm delivering. We'll go into the club head data in a sec. As soon as you go to 80 miles an hour though, you can see now the carry goes to 151 yards, peaking up at 30 yards in the air and descending at 46.2 degrees. You can see what happens when you add just 10 miles an hour clubhead speed. You can see the ball speed goes up, launch stays the same within reason, again, unless you change your club dynamics, launch won't change just through speed. Spin goes up, peak height goes up, descent angle gets better, control going into a green, and carries 151 yards, which is a nice number for a 32-degree lofted 7-iron. It's really interesting to see, obviously, a player's distance, which is normally nowadays around about the 30 degrees of loft. Everything's getting stronger as the years go on. But it's nice to see something at player's distance category at 32 degrees, but 151 yards is nice. You go to 90 miles now, the blue, 169 yards of carry, peaking up at 38 yards in the air, and descent angle at 50 degrees, as you saw on camera. I mean, it just works so well as soon as you start having some speed. Again, when it comes to golf clubs, as soon as you start getting down to 70 and then beyond that to say 60 miles an hour into the 50s, when you're looking at lady golfers and also some senior golfers, etc., you are going to have to look at some form of hybrid head or that kind of idea, because of just trying to get as much launch and peak height as possible. So let's have a look at the club head data. You've got 70.4 miles an hour, 8.3 and 90.5, so within, what's that, 0.2 of a mile an hour of all the 10 mile an hour jumps, which is pretty darn decent. Efficiency is 1.34, 1.34, 1.32. Attack angle 3.2 down, 2.6 and 3, so what's that, within not a lot, 0.6 of a degree, nothing. Club path is within 0.8, face to path is within, what's that, half a degree? Pretty darn decent with 3 different data sets. And of course, the all-important loft, to keep everything exactly the same as best as you possibly can do, 28.4, 28.5 and 28.6, so within 0.2 of a degree. Everything is apple for apple testing. You've got my face impact on there. There was a slight sort of 5 mil deviation. Yeah, we won't get sort of carried away with 5 mil. So if you want to have a look very quickly at the ball and club compare screen, it's the graphical representation of what we've just been talking about. And some people learn and understand much better with graphics than they do streams of tabular data. So let's look at the forgiveness side of things. When you hit this golf club out the middle, you can see on the screen there, you've got one here, 88.2 miles an hour. It's 1 mil low, 0 mil hill, very decent shot, cannot complain in the slightest. 1.7 from the inside and 1.2 close, a little baby draw. But it's going 49 degrees descent angle and 36 yards in the air. That's a slightly slower swing speed of 88.2. Again, you put 2 mile an hour more swing speed on this, it will go even slightly higher and stuff like that. It just works really well out of the middle and also for miss hits as well. We'll go to the miss hits now. Remember, this golf club is a player's distance iron. It's not supposed to be massively forgiving. The whole idea is player's distance. Yeah, so the heat map, you can see on the screen, we've got a quite clear forgiveness out of the toe section. Now this has got tungsten, it's got 15 grams of tungsten whacked in that toe area, and it is there to protect against the toe miss. And as you can see, quite nicely, you can move all the way to 22 millimeters toe. And again, if you haven't seen these heat maps before, what you're seeing there is basically a depiction of how efficient the face is, how much efficiency you lose when you don't hit the middle. And on the left hand side you've got the toe, on the right hand side you've got the heel, so minus 22 mils the heel and then plus 22 mil on the left hand side is the toe, and of course you've got high and low. That blue line very quickly denotes the turf interaction line, so if you hit anything above that line you are hitting the big ball, as in the planet Earth, before the small ball, as in the golf ball. So as a general rule, you can thin it, get away with it all day, thin to win, but never, ever, ever hit it heavy, because you are just going to lose so much. Really forgiving off the toe, you can see it only losing 2% from 22 millimeters toe. It is mental. Of course, if you're going to move around the face low as well at the same time, you are going to start to see a larger drop off, but that's absolutely normal. Now, if you go over to the face overlay, now I've got this onto the actual golf club so you can physically see what it looks like on the club itself. There is that red line on that strip down the right hand side of the heel. What that denotes is basically, please don't hit me there. Now, you have got scoring lines there, and there is a certain amount of trampoline effect, a little bit of spring, shall we say. You'll get a certain amount of efficiency drop, of course you will. However, if you hit it there, because that's around about 20-21 millimeters away from geometric middle, unfortunately, the hosel has an effect on that, because the curvature of the golf ball, etc. You hit something from about 20 millimeters off the heel, and you are going to interact with the hosel at the same time. No one likes hitting a hosel rocket. If you are a heel striker, as a general miss, do everything you possibly can do to try and move your strike towards the toe, because, or low, anywhere but the heel. If you're a persistent heel striker and then you have slightly more of a heely day, you're going to get very, very close to a hosel rocket. But you can physically see the green moving out towards the toe. This golf club would absolutely suit someone who deviates as a toe miss and is pretty darn decent off of low strikes as well. You do start losing more quickly off of the heel, but that's because of the tungsten in the toe. That's what the golf club's designed to do. It's trying to be a little bit more forgiving off of certain parts of the face, and that tungsten works very, very well. So if you see that heat map there, and you can see what kind of drop-offs you get from different parts of the face. Why is it important? Because you can see on the screen. This is a graphic which denotes an imaginary 155-yard hole. And you can see you've got a green at 27 yards deep as a average green-ish. And you can see at the top there, you've got the green into red. That shows how much drop off you get. And on the actual table on the left-hand side, you can see you've got the shot distance in yards and shot distance in meters for the people that work two different ways of, yeah. And you've got on the actual top one, you've got 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, 8%, 10%. That is the amount of percentage drop that you saw. Go back to the original grid where you can actually see how many percentage you drop from different parts of the face. If you know exactly where you hit it as a miss, you'll be able to see how this golf club works potentially for you when it comes to how much you're going to drop off. And if you're going to hit something like low heel on this golf club, it's much more forgiving off the toe, then it will going to drop quite a bit more than you hit it off the toe. But you can see there on the top table, you've got something at 5% at 155 yards. You're going to have a 23-foot putt left. Remember, this is forced carry. This could be exactly the same as any kind of golf hole that you have on your golf club yourself, on this golf course yourself. It's a situation, it could be a bunker, could be heather, any form of rough, when you have to have forced carry. It is so important that you know what kind of golf club is going to work for you and your common miss hit. As a player's distance iron goes, as a quick conclusion to this, it does really very well. Generally speaking, the player's distance side of the categories of iron aren't the most forgiving in the world. It's because they're trying to marry the best thing you can do from a player's, as in the looks and the feel, etc., but with the distance side of it, a bit more of a springy face. And it's very much so because of the constraints of the design to make them as forgiving as other golf clubs. And so it's really nice to actually see a golf club which in the player's distance sector, which does a really good job of protecting against a singular miss, which is effectively the toe. It's decent off low, no problem whatsoever. It's just I wouldn't hit this one out the heel. If you are a heel striker, I would probably go searching for another golf club. It doesn't do bad, but you can see the distinct when it comes to the heat map on how well it does out of the toe. Looks wise, I actually quite like it. I know a lot of people don't like the looks of PXG irons, and I absolutely agree when it comes to the old school grub screws everywhere. They're a bit industrial and mechanical, and I didn't really like it, but I mean, it was new and innovative at the time. Feel wise, it feels actually really quite nice. Even though it's got the same technology as the 311P, it just feels massively different. It feels very much so down the 317 line, the player's line, but with a lot of the same amount of help that you get in the P. I think it's a perfect blending iron if people want to go into the P for longer irons and then this one in the scoring irons. And then no different to the people that want to have the blade or the CB in the scoring irons and have then the T for a little bit more help, especially if you're a toe striker in the longer irons. I think it's a really good option from PXG. One of my favourites so far. I've still got the CB and also the ST to do. Again, I've done all the other ones, including the driver on my channel. If you haven't seen the driver video, you really need to see that one, because that is the golden goose of PXG so far. One of the best drivers of 2024. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go and give it a big old thumbs up. YouTube likes it, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It is free. It is great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that one is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. When you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. Hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.